Alright, so this is an update for the seating. Is the thing that we just completed. So you can see here, got 2 rows of seats, 3 and 3. Got the big 3 in the front and a little 3 in the back. That way we can walk through into the back if needed. And after that, we threw on some vinyl just to waterproof everything. Keep it nice and watertight, and that's spray glued into place. Lessons learned here on this section is that the flooring underneath, the steel flooring in the bed of the truck, is corrugated, and that the plywood paneling that typically comes with a cargo version of one of these trucks already has cutouts in the bottom to help guide you on where you would like to put your seating if you're going to follow the manufacturer's specs, and they would bolt into that little bolt right there, the little round one, the black one. It would bolt in right there and follow that back, and as you can see, we've gone, you know, a little further over, right? We're not perfectly lined up. We've moved back that way a little bit and further back to give more leg room between, you know, the seats here and here. So that you've got more leg room to sit, gives you an extra 2 inches, and same thing in the back here. We pushed it back so that there's more leg room to slide in and fit. We also had to slide it over a little bit because this seat is so oversized. It's so big. It's a big 3-seater. I think it's from one of the older versions, pre-2007. So it barely fits in here. You know, if you look, if I stand right over it, you can see it basically only leaves like an inch or 2 before it hits the thing. You know, you can kind of see it sticks out considerably. If I shut the door, there's barely enough room to slide by here between the chair and where the chair and the door is. There's just enough room to walk through, barely. So I had to shove it over an inch. It basically goes right over to the wall on the far side over there. You know, there is like no room. There is just enough room to stick in a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch wood, some kind of panel eventually on this wall after we put in the windows, but that'll be it on the space. And yeah, that's it. So lessons learned, that there is a specific place for these seats to go, but that it may not fit exactly what your plans are, so you can alter a little. But you do have to be careful, because the places where the manufacturer does want you to stick it in is the lowest point in the corrugation, and no, it is not evenly corrugated throughout. There are certain dipping points that are lower than everywhere else. So because of the alterations that we made, all the seat things were slightly different heights, you know, so we had to adjust a little bit. Also had to use grade 10 steel bolts for safety. We got the hardest bolt possible. Bolts, nuts, and washers. Got the strongest stuff we could for safety purposes, obviously. Yeah, so we ended up by having to adjust the height a little bit on the plywood here that we got. We actually have 2 layers, or somewhere between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, instead of the normal 1/4 inch that was initially laid down, in order to bring the flooring up to where the rest of the brackets are, so there was a little bit more flush. So that's it. Lessons learned. That's what we've got done so far. Is got the seats in, got the plywood down, got the vinyl down all the way through the back. So that's all done. Fixed up the mirror here. This was broken, got that fixed. And we also put in insulation, which you can see there in the front. That insulation goes now from here all the way back. So the floor is now insulated. And still need to finish this up, finish, you know, some of the trim around the edges, and, you know, a few other things, a little cleanup duty, but that's about it. All right.